Our film begins with a 16-year-old teenager called Max, whose whole face is covered with bandages. We see him sitting with a psychologist, and Max tells him that he has a strange condition where he accidentally kills people whenever they see his face. The doctor is extremely surprised by his words and finds it hard to believe. Max tells him that on the day of his birth, as soon as the doctor and nurses saw him, they commented that he was the most beautiful boy they had ever seen, and suddenly they died. We notice that his parents are the only ones who saw him and didn't die. After that, when Max was 2 years old, he and his parents moved to another isolated city because they believed that the fewer people around, the fewer accidents would occur. Since then, he has been covering his face with these bandages, wearing goggles and wearing a cap. However, the doctor still doesn't believe him and suggests that it might all be in his head and he's causing these illusions to himself, which is causing his depression. Suddenly, Max's parents outside hear a loud thud on the ground, and when they enter, they find the doctor lying on the floor because he saw Max's face and died. They call the police, but Max didn't get arrested. Afterwards, we see Dan. Dan is Max's friend, and he's sitting at Max's house. They were all eating when Jan, Paul, Max's parents, they came up with an idea. It was suggested that Max register on dating apps so he can meet someone around his age and in a similar situation, or maybe in a similar condition. They wanted him to go out and not isolate himself. Later, he enters the room with Dan and asks him to hit him in the face with a brick to disfigure himself so that no one dies when they see him. Dan actually hits him, and Max goes to the hospital with his mother Jane, and everyone there looks at him with surprise because of what he had done to his face. He looks for something to cover his face with and meets a girl named Alex, who gives him her magazine. Then it's time for his appointment, and he goes in to see the doctor. Afterwards, he goes home, and there Dan comes to him and tells him that he has set up a date for him with a girl today. At night, he meets the girl called Erica and gives her a handkerchief with her name Sin on it. Suddenly, a boy named Craig shows up. Craig Max meets Erica and they sit together at the table. He insults Max in front of everyone, and when Max asks Erica if she should go on another date with him, she refuses and leaves. Max becomes more upset about his situation, so he decided to commit suicide by jumping off a bridge. However, suddenly Alex appears and tells him that he should jump from an even higher bridge to ensure that he dies. At that moment, Max tells her that she should say something different to encourage him to live, but she knows that he won't actually commit suicide. Afterwards, Alex took Max to a nursing home where he met a woman named Esther. Esther, another one named Rosemary, joins them, and they all get to know Max and spend time together. Later, Alex takes Max to his house to make sure he doesn't attempt suicide. When Max asks Alex to go out with him the next day, she apologizes and declines. He then goes home and plays with Dan, telling him about Alex and expressing his desire to see her again. Dan suggests that he wait for her at the bus station where they first met, as there's a chance they might cross paths again. The next day, Max goes to the bus station and indeed finds Alex there. She asks him if he's following her, and he replies that he just wants to see her and go out together again. Alex agrees, and they go to the mall where they buy a large quantity of candy. Afterwards, they fill the bathtub with it and sit inside. Max tells Alex he was born with an incredibly beautiful face to the point that people die when they see it. She admits that she knows about his condition and that he's famous in the hospital for it. At that moment, Alex reveals that she has a rare heart condition and wears a device that monitors her heart rate and oxygen levels. Any excessive excitement or emotions exhaust her. Afterwards, they listen to music together, then they go to the cinema and have some fun there, swapping the drinks they had for alcoholic ones. After a while, Alex takes Max to his house because he's drunk. In Max's room, Alex sees all the things he has sewn and asks him to make one for her. Then Alex removes Max's glasses from his eyes and is amazed by the sight. Suddenly, Max's family arrives and he is shocked to see a girl with him. As soon as they see Alex, they warmly welcome her. Then his family members introduce him to a girl named Yushi who will live with them in the house as part of the student exchange program until she finishes her semester. The next day, they all go to the nursing home and notice that Rosemary is sitting alone because it's her birthday and she doesn't want to grow older. But she comes over and sits with them and they all have a conversation. The following day, they all went camping and Yushi also went with them. Max kept filming the whole way. Suddenly, Alex's hand starts bleeding while she's filming Dan and his girlfriend. Max quickly cuts some of the bandages on his face and wipes her blood. The light on Alex's device turns red, indicating that her heart is in danger. At night, Alex tells Max that she wants to see what he looks like. He covers her eyes and removes the screen, wrapping it around his own eyes, and has her place her hands on his face so she can imagine his appearance. The next day, they all return from the camping trip. Later on, Alex calls Max, telling him that her mother needs her so she won't be able to go out with him. When she hangs up, we find out that she's in the hospital because her heart is in danger. Later, Jan asks Max and Dan to take the Christmas tree outside the house. As they take it out, Yushi accidentally throws a cigarette on it, causing the tree to catch fire. When Dan tries to put it out, his hands gets burned, so he and Max rush to the hospital to get his burn treated. But there, Max sees Alex with her mother, but Alex acts as if they're not friends and tells her mother that she works with her at the nursing home and walks away. The next day, Alex and Max meet. Alex explained to him that her mother doesn't like her having friends and agrees to work at the nursing home because it's boring and not dangerous. Then they go to the nursing home and find out that Rosemary is very sick and hooked up to machines. Alex is deeply affected by this and starts bleeding from her nose, telling Max that this is torturous for her because she's slowly dying, Rosemary. She asks Max to relieve her from all this and reveal his face to her so she can die easily. At first, Max hesitates, but he enters the room and removes the bandages from his face while holding her hand. Rosemary dies peacefully while smiling. Later, Alex disappears for a while and doesn't respond to any of Max's calls or text messages. So he decides to go to her house, and when he gets there, he finds her heart device's alarm light lit red due to increased danger. Max feels guilty, thinking he's the reasons because they were always going out and having fun, which overworked her weak heart. He asks her how he can help, and she asks him to take her to a dance party. When they make it to the party, Alex gets tired and starts bleeding from her nose. She tells Max that she will go to the bathroom for a minute and come back, but she takes longer. While she's in the bathroom, some bullies, including Craig, tear Max's mask off, which killed Dan's girlfriend. Then the police arrived and arrested Max. While Max is in custody, he sees Alex being taken by ambulance to the hospital. Max spends a night in jail, and as soon as he is released, he goes to visit Alex at the hospital, and there he realizes that she was not taking her meds. She lied to him about taking her medication, but she's doing all of this because she wants to die. She tells him that since she was young, she's been taking medicines that never cured her, and all she's been doing is delaying her death, nothing more. She's forbidden from doing things that people her age do, like falling in love and being loved. She also tells him that she tried many times to make him understand that she wanted to see his face, but he didn't get it. Max tells her that she doesn't know how he feels every time someone dies in front of him, and seeing his own face only makes it worse. He gets very upset and walks away, leaving her behind. Later, he goes home and tries to smash his face with a brick, but his family stops him. In that moment, Yoshi's cat sees Max's face and dies. Later, Max meets Dan and tells him that he should see Alex and spend time with her so that if she dies, he won't regret it. Max goes to see her and hangs all the things he made on the wall of her room. He apologizes for not being with her lately, and he also tells her that he doesn't like goodbyes or farewell moments. He assures her that he will fulfill her request to see his face. He tells her to close her eyes and removes the bandages from his face, and as soon as Alex opens her eyes and sees Max's face, it doesn't actually kill her, and Max realizes that unconditional love means his face isn't lethal. However, she gets more tired because of her disease. Max goes to call the doctors and stays by her side. However, he falls asleep, and when he wakes up, he doesn't find her on the bed, and he's shocked to discover that Alex passed away of natural causes. He grieves. Max was deeply affected by the death of the girl he only loved. After a few days, the charge that Max faced for Craig's girlfriend's death was dropped. News headlines emerge about a dangerously attractive boy who causes the death of anyone seeing his face. To honor her, he visits the nursing home and helps their friend. He takes a bag of green jelly beans and tosses it over the bridge they first met, and he walks away knowing what he will do with his life. He becomes an angel of death, granting euthanasia, that is mercy killing, to anyone who needs it, so they can look at his face and die smiling in peace. Later, we see Craig going to apologize to Mac for what he did earlier at the party, but as soon as he sees his face, he dies. And that's it, our movie ends here. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel, and let us know in the comments which movie you would like us to recap next. Goodbye!